Hey guys, welcome back to Super Switch U. Before anybody calls it out, I'm definitely wearing the wrong shirt for this video, and I understand this. Means I got to do laundry at some point in the next couple of days. Um, I was thinking of doing a completely different video for Saturday's video, but we got that announcement on Wednesday, so we're going to talk about Star Fox. I love Star Fox. We're going to talk about Star Fox. Kind of the history, how many times 64 story has been done in the series, which is, surprisingly a lot in comparison. And maybe speculate on some things as to what certain pricing things have come up about the new one and what this could mean. Just whatever random thoughts we come across here. So buckle in. We're gonna talk Star Fox. So yeah, if you missed the direct, go check the direct. They showed off a trailer, all kinds of gameplay for Star Fox, just called Star Fox, which is going to get real confusing later on. Sonic the Hedgehog did something like that once. It's now revered as Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. It is like considered one of the worst ones. I hope it's not that, but we'll see. I mean, it shouldn't. It's just Star Fox 64, but it looks beautiful. So, people should not complain. And I get it. You're probably thinking the same thing I was at first. Man, it's just Star Fox 64 again. But, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that was definitely one of my favorites growing up. And I actually owned that game. It was not something that me and my brother shared. It was not something that belonged to my brother. It was, I had some money saved up from birthdays and Christmas and chores and whatever. And I went down to GameStop back when it was in the mall in Shawnee, and I bought my own copy used from GameStop. So before that, we rented it some and played it a bunch, and then I owned a copy, and then we just played it a bunch more. It's just so weird because I don't usually get into shooter type games like that, like airship shooter games. So the fact that I just latched on so hard to Star Fox really speaks volumes about the characters, the story, the just overall fun of that game. Because I did not ever finish Star Fox on Super Nintendo. I attempted to start it a couple of times, but never really played it. And I really should. I might before this one comes out. I might try to finally go through Star Fox 1 and then the recently released Star Fox 2 that came out back in 2016, 2017 when they put out the Super Nintendo Classic and they stuck it in there for whatever reason, even though it never came out on the Super Nintendo. So it kind of defeats the point of a classic console that's supposed to be for nostalgia. Like, oh yeah, look, all the games you play. Like, oh look, here's this brand new game you didn't get to play before. And then they put it on the online service, and so it's there too. So, but yeah, technically that's not two. That's, I'll get back to you on the number. Think of it. I think technically that's 9 or 7. I've lost count. I've got all this stuff over here. Hold on. Yeah, no, that was right. It's technically number 9. It's the last one we got before June. So yeah, let that sink in. And they got the sequel to it. That was not that long ago. So yeah, it's probably just a little bit of my history with it. Like I played through an Elite Adventure once. I don't know that I ever even started Assault, but I wanted to. I played Command. I did not beat Command. It was a little odd and not quite what I was wanting for Star Fox. But at some point I might end up finding a copy in a DS or a 3DS and go through it. I did pick up Star Fox 64 3D and beat through it at least twice. Zero, I have beaten once, and I'm working on my second playthrough right now because I got the Wii U back, and so we can play it. I've also got Star Fox Guard. I did not beat Star Fox Guard, but I got pretty decently far into Star Fox Guard. I like it, but it's not quite the same when it comes to like really wanting a Star Fox experience. It's very much it started as a different game. And then, yeah, like I said, I haven't even started Star Fox 2. I need to. I feel bad as a fan. Like I should have already beat it twice. Um, I should have probably popped up my arts here, but yeah. So in case you didn't realize, this is the series in its entirety. You have the Star Fox game from the Super Nintendo. I don't remember what year that came out. It was either like when I was born or before I was born. I feel like Super Nintendo came out like 91. I don't think that was in 91. I think that was 92, which was, yeah, there you go. Technically, in chronological order, there should have been Star Fox 2. They canceled it because the N64 was coming out, and that's a terrible excuse. They should have just went ahead and popped that bad boy out there, but oops. Star Fox 64 was next, and it's the one that everybody loves. I love that one. An adventure, which was very much not Star Fox style play at all. It was started as a different game by Rare, and then they threw all the Star Fox stuff in there, which definitely would have made that better. I don't know that I would have played Dinosaur Planet. That's fine. Assault, didn't play it, but it's supposed to be a sequel to Adventures, but it actually goes back to Star Fox gameplay. Command, which was a turn-based strategy, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Like you had to go through, but then there were segments that played like Star Fox. Like if you ran into an enemy, you had to defeat the enemies or complete the mission or whatever, like in a time period. It's kind of weird. Then the follow-up to that, which has very similar box art, if you didn't notice there, Star Fox 64 3D, which is just Star Fox 64 but in 3D. They cleaned it, but it's still the same game. Zero, Guard, and then the new one, shiny new one. One thing I did want to kind of do, and I could kind of play with these. How many times did the same story get told in Star Fox? So on this side, that side, we are going to put all of the ones with the exact same story as the first Star Fox. And then over here, we're going to put anything that has a completely unique original story. It's not 64. Ready? It's going to be real sad here. So obviously, Star Fox 1 and 2 does not have quite the same story, so they're on separate sides. 64 was just that whole story again. I know I should probably move these elsewhere. Adventure was original. Assault was original. Command was original. 64 3D was not. Zero was not. Star Fox Guard was original. Hooray! I'm gonna have to overlap, I think, for that one. And, nope, not trying to grab you. You go back over there. All right, Star Fox, not original. Okay, there we go. We gotta do that. There. Fixed it, and I feel like I'm not so cluttered. Alright, so it's just split the line right down the middle. Yeah, 5 out of 10 games were not original stories, but in fact, the same thing redone over and over and over and over again. Which makes it feel weird to be part of this fan base, because it's just the same thing. But, they also every so many years put the Star Wars movies back in theater, and you could go back and watch it again. And it's the same movie. You could pay more money to go back to the theater to watch the same movie. And people do it. And if I had time and money, I'd probably do the same thing. But I have neither, so I can't do that. But I got this. I could just keep playing the same Star Fox over and over. Now, to that though, the Star Fox stages I think are a little different just because of graphical limitations and stuff. So that between Star Fox 1 and Star Fox 64, they are different ish. Full dubbing and stuff. So they feel like completely different games, which is why Star Fox, the new one, also feels like a completely different game from 64. Yeah, it's kind of weird because since Star Fox 1 and 64 are technically the same game, technically, this is just a remake of the first one. Kind of. It's a stretch, but yeah, I mean, they did say the stages like have the exact same course and run through as 64, so no guesswork. And 64 3D is just that again. So 4 of these are like straight up the same thing. Whereas Star Fox Zero is a little bit different. Like there were different types of stages and stuff, different gameplay mechanics. The what do they call that? A little helicopter thing that also drops the robot, and then the vehicle or the ship transforms like it does in 2. So Star Fox Zero is kind of, and it's really unfair to put it there. Let's put it right in front of my face so you can't see me anymore. It's more like a middle ground, and that's why I like Star Fox Zero. It's the same story, yeah, but it's different. This over here, this is not going to be different. But I mean, you're still fighting Andross. You're still saving the Lylat system. And really, if you want to get a brand new story with new planets, new gameplay and stuff, they need to get out of the Lylat system. Go actually explore the universe, Star Fox. That's what you need to do. And you could have like a whole new game. I was thinking about it in the car this morning, and like I came up with what I thought was a fairly decent idea. If you really just wanted to stick with the Lylat system, or something close, and that is Andross' secret apprentice tries to find a way to resurrect or change the course of history of Andross being defeated and killed and whatever in the events of all of these games. And so you introduce time travel through tears in the fabric of space and time. And then you can also have Star Fox team up with his father's original team and be with James McCloud and Pigma as a good guy, which would be great. And then, younger Peppy. That would be a terrific game if they did that. And, make him not a freaking monkey, even though monkeys are the bad guy in Star Fox, apparently. But something else, so it feels different. And you have this whole brand new game. I thought about that in a car ride. There's so many things you could do with Star Fox. And we really only scratched the surface with this and also Slippy Guard. Because Fox is very absent. Actually, all of Star Fox is absent, except for Slippy. Though saying Star Fox is a little loose. But the Star Fox Adventures one had a really nice story, a very unique story. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I would have enjoyed Assault, but I didn't get it. We did not have a GameCube growing up. We got it in 2006. 2005, 2006, right in there, like right before the Wii came out. So yeah, no, Star Fox Assault, you were not going to find that easily, and then it just became more rare as it went on. But yeah, it's Star Fox. I should have probably collected my thoughts better, but so I think that was basically everything I wanted to say about the series as a whole. Before we kind of speculate on certain very specific Star Fox. There we go. And we just bring you back over here and then go. Star Fox. Not to be confused with Star Fox, but Star Fox. Yeah, that's the excuse to say Star Fox 100 more times. So, had some interesting thoughts about this one too on the same car ride this morning. But you can guess where all of this came from. Oh, and this morning, I mean, this is not Saturday. Like this is being recorded on Thursday, so I still have the thoughts to this right there. So it kind of seems to me, because of how much of the Switch 2's features are pumped into this thing, including a feature that I feel like they didn't talk about at all, which was the facial recognition avatar thing for the game chat camera. I would have already had a camera by now. Like, I would have just bought Nintendo's camera at this point if I knew we were going to get Star Fox avatar face skins to play with. That already pays for itself. The fact that that's in there, there's mouse control, there looks like they're really pushing some limits with like graphical capabilities, especially compared to most of what Nintendo's done at this point. Like, it's all backwards here. This just blows it all out of the water when it comes to visually compared to the actual performance, at least what they showed us. So you've got all of that and game share and all of this stuff pumped into it. So it kind of made me think maybe this was them actually just testing all of these features early on, and maybe it wasn't like that detailed when they were first doing this. Maybe they really did just like take all the assets and stuff from 64 and they started to play with each thing as they were going. Like they tested game chat with it, or they tried the facial recognition thing but with the old models and they got it to work, and they were testing mouse controls and stuff like that. And then maybe they were like, okay, well, what about visually? Can we really push the limits? And so they start kind of playing around with some models, maybe made some really realistic looking R-wings and the characters, and then eventually it was just like, okay, so let's just like build this thing. And so they completely overhaul the way the stages look to see, oh, can we really push the limits of the graphical capabilities here? And they did. And so maybe they've just been sitting on this, right? Because they knew when they were working with Illumination that Star Fox was going to be in the movie. So I think the actual waiting and just the timing on it, really, right? Because Mario Galaxy movie came out April 1st. Okay, so all of April, May, and most of June. It's a 3-month period. Most of your theatrical release movies have about a 3-month period in theaters, 3 to 4 months, depending on the popularity and if the theaters actually decide to keep it. And then somewhere about 4 to 5 months, you see it release to home video, to streaming services, Vudu, digital copies, all of it happens between 4 to 5 months. This is coming out right at the end of that. So you gave Mario Galaxy movie enough time to hit all the theaters, and most people that are going to watch the Galaxy movie to see it, to see Star Fox, to be curious about Star Fox, to be pumped about Star Fox, and then you announce this. You announce this at the beginning of May, so after the movie's been out for a good solid month, and then they just dropped it. No, I'm convinced they've been sitting on this. I mean, this is official box art. Like, this is what they show on Nintendo's website, and it has the E10 rating. Like, it's been rated by the ESRB and any other places around the world. So it's had a rating for a while. It has the full trailer. It had the box art a month beforehand. This getting revealed in May and coming out in June actually makes sense. But I didn't want to believe that Star Fox was happening based off a rumor, especially because they were saying it was getting announced in April and it didn't until May. So I had every right to be skeptical. But I feel like this, and if the Ocarina of Time thing is correct, sorry, I will come to this. If the Ocarina of Time remake is also accurate, it all kind of makes sense, right? Because the N64 is 30 years old at this point, Cat 96, I think. Let me double check myself, but I'm pretty sure. I can type this in the right search bar here. What was the U.S. one? I was in like September or something, wasn't it? No, and this is not pulling up Google, so now I gotta like actually hunt for the actual answer here. So give me just a minute. I was not prepared on this side either. Okay, so that's got the units sold, but not the. Okay. So everywhere except Europe and Australia. So yeah, September 29th was the US. Japan was June of 96. So yeah, that's actually something we're probably going to end up talking about in July, between July and September. That the Nintendo 64 turns 30 years old this year. And sorry, I keep confusing myself because I'm looking at this, but then I'm feeling like I should be pointing in the same direction. I'm not always great with directions and coordination when it comes to recording these. But they're redoing this. Rumors are redoing the Ocarina of Time. They now make more sense. I was like, oh, they're really not going to redo that. But 30 years later, yeah. As a point of reference, I don't think there were many video games, if any, 30 years before I was born. Let alone trying to get to like being the age of a kid and wanting to enjoy a game from 30 years prior. You'd probably be looking somewhere between 1996 and 1998, 2000. So you're talking 60s to 70s. I don't think there were like anything but arcade games. Most of which probably couldn't be found by that point if they were 30 years old. So, okay. I know I'm like not comfortable in this particular setup at this moment because my back is giving me issues. Yeah, not only Star Fox and the N64 being 30 or 30s, but I'm in my 30s. I'm feeling it. So yeah, so if you try to compare kids trying to play Star Fox 64 or Star Fox on the Super Nintendo, how many 30-year-old movies did you watch as a kid? Outside of Disney. Oh, wait. Probably not many. And even to this day, I can't think of too many movies 30 years before my lifetime that I actually enjoyed. The original Star Fox trilogy, a few of the old classic horror movies, and some of those were really more like 10 to 20 years before. There's not too many things from 1960s to 1970s really caught my interest. Right? And even though, yeah, like we have access to all of the internet, you can see these things, you can watch people play these things, you can find these things and purchase them and play them. It's not going to appeal to kids today, especially under the age of 10. But Mario Galaxy movie appealed to kids. And now you got Star Fox for Switch 2. So we're probably going to see them actually redo a few games, probably more specifically from this era, because they're now doing the GameCube online service. So instead of remaking too many of those, they're going to do NSO for the GameCube games. Whereas N64 is probably going to get a lot more of the remake treatment, except I was thinking about it, and there's not too much from that era that feels like it needs a remake. Besides F-Zero X. If you're going to bring back F-Zero in this modern time, I would say that. And not to be specific to that game, but F-Zero GX is on the online service, and if kids are going to want to play it, they're going to play that. But then you can make the argument 64 is on the NSO service. It sure is. It sure is. You go back and play that. Go back and play that dummy. That doesn't still look kind of crusty compared to anything you're playing right now. I love it to pieces. It is one of my all-time favorite games. I have a very large dose of nostalgia coming from somewhere back in this part of my brain, just shooting it in there. Man, like, this is great. But nobody under the age of 20 is thinking Star Fox 64 looks amazing right now. But they probably liked seeing that. So, yeah, I'm now more convinced that we might see an Ocarina of Time remake, especially this year. Not that it's the 30th anniversary of Ocarina of Time, but the 30th anniversary of N64. So probably now through like July to September of next year, we're probably going to see any N64 games get remade that we're going to see. And then they're probably just going to move on. But this also feels like a chance to have a cheaper game library, even though they're not going real cheap like they used to. That's another thing. We're on to a different topic here, but like I want to discuss this too. Their variable pricing lie. I just want to get this out of the way, and I know a few of you guys, and I can think of some of you by name, are very much hardcore Nintendo fanboys, and I can appreciate that. I can. But I just want to be realistic here for a minute. Because if you are the true Nintendo fanboys that you say that you are, you would absolutely remember the same thing that I'm remembering. Okay? They used to actually have variable pricing. Very good variable pricing. And not just on the consoles that were not good, like GameCube and Wii U. The Wii had variable pricing. The Switch had variable pricing, right? Because the Switch had things like Brain Age came out physically for $29.99. And you had a few other games that released for $30, $40, $50, $60. And then you had two that were 70. One of them being Tears of the Kingdom and one of them being Mario Galaxy 1+2. So that's variable. That is all over the place. And I get like they're talking variable because like, oh no, now digital is not the same as physical, and that's crap. But that like do not punish me for buying the physical game. I'm never going to be okay with that. And the reason that they needed to be the same price was for the stores, so you could sell your console on the store shelf. I think we're seeing Walmart starting to push back on that since I checked this the other day. I saw it pop up on Facebook. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and Splatoon Raiders, as of this morning, were the two that Walmart is doing a current discount of about $10 if you buy the physical copy. If you pre-order the physical copy of those games, you can get them for the exact same price as the digital. And Walmart has that ability to take a lesser profit to say, no, Nintendo, you're going to keep these prices the same so we can still make money too. But smaller chains, smaller game stores, GameStop, things like that, they probably won't do that. And so they're going to lose even more sales because Walmart is going to sell them for cheaper. And they did that in the Switch 1 era also, but I think that was to fight Best Buy. Best Buy had a really good rewards program for a while, and I ended up saving money with it. You spent like $20 or something for a year, and you saved like 20% off of new game price, or like, yeah, I think it was any new game. It was like 20% off, and it was a massive discount. It was nice and noticeable. As so the Walmart started pricing their games at what that would have been, so you could just go buy it from Walmart. But I didn't do that. I don't like Walmart. I do not like Walmart at all. But To save $10, I might. I'm cheap. I'm poor. What were we talking about again? Um, Star Fox. Right. We were talking Star Fox. But yeah, no, the pricing thing. It's nice to see that. Like, I'm not going to say that this doesn't deserve to be more than $60 physical or $50 digital. But it's nice to know that not every Switch 2 game is going to cost me $70 to $80 because I'm burning out and I'm burning out quick. Um, Not every Switch 2 edition that has extra content that actually makes me want to buy the Switch 2 edition should be $80. Mario Kart World was a great game, should not have been $80. And there's no download content to add to the experience, and it was like it felt like it was missing stuff. But point is, it's nice to have some cheaper games, and that's another thing that this feels like. So if they're cutting some cost and not completely building a game over, but like just overhauling it like they do with Star Fox or possibly even Ocarina of Time remake, because I feel like that might end up doing the same and being a slightly cheaper game, but remake of a beloved Zelda, that could actually end up paying off as a holiday title. Like, oh look, we could just get the nice shiny new game from 30 years ago. It's fine. Like I said, the variable pricing thing, I really felt like I needed to get that out there because like the Wii had 30, 40, 50, and $60 games. I don't remember too many of the 60. No, yeah, no, maybe. I'll get back to you on that. It might have been just before they went $60 with the Wii U generation, but I swear there was $60 games on Wii. But they had not Player's Choice because they had already killed that name at that point. That was GameCube, but we had Nintendo Selects, $20, and the Wii was not hurting. No, the Wii was one of the best-selling consoles until here recently, when Switch One was like, "Here, hold my Wii remote or hold my Joy-Con," something. Anyway, the Wii was not hurting, and they still could get you $20 games when the game's been out for a while. Switch One has been replaced by a successor, and there's no sign of Nintendo Selects. So, variable pricing, uh, that is a load of bullcrap. No, yeah, that's the only thing. I'm not going to stop buying their games just because pricing thing. But you make it difficult, Nintendo. You do. You make it difficult to keep buying your games because I have two kids in there and a wife that I gotta also buy them stuff. And so I can't just buy myself stuff all the time. Especially when the games are $70. Do me a favor and like make this $40 physically. Or I don't know. That's just a thought. Just send me a physical copy and I'll review it. I will talk about it. We will push this thing over the edge and we will make Star Fox cool again. Somehow. I don't know. I don't know. It can't. And I shouldn't be alone in that, I don't think. Because times are hard. Gas in Oklahoma right now is like $4, over $4 a gallon. It's tough. It's tough, especially when your job requires you to drive from store to store to store. And you're driving 200 miles in a week. Easy. Yeah, it's hard. And it's hard. It's a hard time to be a Star Fox fan when they want $60 out of you physically, but they'll let the digital people buy it for 50. And I know what you're saying. You could just buy it digitally, and it's the same thing. It's not though. It's not. And there is no ownership in digital. That's the same lie that they've been telling you since they did digital in the first place. But you know what they can't do? They can't come and take my physical cartridge away. They'll have to pry that from my cold, dead sausage fingers. So, no. No digital should not be cheaper. But I feel like it's a whole tangent for another time. What were we talking about? Star Fox. We're talking about Star Fox. Oh gosh. I'm still excited for this game though, guys. I want you to know that it looks beautiful. I love Star Fox 64, and so even though it's gonna be cinematically different and there's a bunch of additional content added right back to it, I at the core have the exact same experience as playing Star Fox 64. It's the same stages, it's the same bosses, the same shortcuts, it's the same gameplay with a nice coat of paint right on over it, a very nice glossy $60 coat of paint. Step at me, I can't keep complaining about pricing. But yeah, plus you're gonna eventually see me getting a camera, and I'm just gonna have so much fun with that. And I went back, I watched the thing, and yes, you can have Pigma's face. All of Star Fox and all of Star Wolf look like they were the avatars that you could pick. And it might seem like a stupid character to latch onto, but at the same time, I'm a voice actor. And I also can do very few impersonations, right? Like, I'm not going to do all of them for you here, but I could do a good Hercule Satan. All of mine are weird impersonations. I just want you to know. I could Hercule Satan. I can do the original voice for Tristan Taylor. Oh, isn't it cute when he's thinking drooling monsters? Like the stupid one, the stupid voice, not the good one, the stupid one. And then Pigma. I mean, I did the whole Star Wolf like intro thing. At one time, I actually put it over some gameplay and like I had it on the channel, but I would quote it for me and my friends and my brother like all the time. You know the one where it's like, "Geez, can anyone take care of this? Can't let you do that, Star Fox. Andros has ordered us to take you down. Peppy, long time no see. Andros's enemies are my enemies." Like that one, that. But Pigma's voice, which was the like fourth one, you know that. Your daddy squealed real good before he died. I'm like, I should have been allowed to be Pigma. I'm just saying, like I have that voice very clearly, and I don't like what they did with it. I get it's a more realistic voice for a character, but the fun cartoony one, that's the best one. My beautiful reward! Ah! Like, oh, I could do this all day. So I'm gonna have fun with that. I'll give him his original voice back, and we might do some videos with that. Like I've got to. It feels like the right thing to do. So I'm gonna have fun with that part. That's best investment. Kind of like, and I know this is going off onto a different game. WarioWare Gold. If anybody played that on the 3DS, the best part of that game was not that it was all the best micro games across the WarioWare series stuffed into one on the 3DS. No, it was that you could use a little crane thing and you could unlock uh, every cutscene in that game. And the video is still up. All three parts that I had stuck together as a Throwback Thursday. If you've not watched that either, you could go watch it now. But you could dub over the cutscenes with your own voice and whatever you wanted to say as long as you could fit it into the voice clips. That was the best part of WarioWare Gold. And the best part of this is going to probably be the Pigma avatar. I can't keep doing that voice because my kids are sleeping and I feel like I'm going to get too loud and it's going to wake them up. But if you ever want to see that video, just start like blasting the comment section of any and every video. I will probably do it again. Oh. But I think, as far as for today, I think that's all that I've really got to say on Star Fox as a whole. at this particular point in time. I mean, I will probably do more videos talking about Star Fox or other specific games and stuff. And if there's any game you want me to just really dive into the game itself or the series and just give my opinions and stuff, share it. I'm cool with talking about stuff. I've been around for 33 years, and I played my fair share. First system was the NES, and then we moved up and had experience with the Atari because my dad found his old Atari in his collection of games, and so we played some Atari 2600. So yeah, and just between that, then me and my brother were collecting consoles at one point, and so I've played probably most systems at some point. So we could literally talk about anything. I don't have all of them to show footage for, which is disappointing. I gave all that up because the Switch was supposed to be the ultimate port machine, and then they stopped Wii U ports when I wanted Star Fox Zero, and so now we got the Wii U. So I'm rambling at this point. If you guys have stuck around this long, one, we can absolutely be friends, and two, comment down below. Let's talk about some stuff. We can keep talking there. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe so we can get closer to 1,000 subscribers because we are getting so very close, guys. In case you're ever wondering, the pointing, I was supposed to put icons up a long time ago and I never did, but now I just still point because it's become part of my thing. And then if you've subscribed, hit that bell notification button. Should have been over here. Hit that bell notification button so you can be alerted to all upcoming videos, including the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday videos, whatever they tend to be, even if we randomly just start rambling about Star Fox, because who doesn't love rambling about Star Fox? If you say no, I think you might be lying to yourself. So look deep inward. Know that you want to talk about Star Fox. You'd be alerted to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday videos, anything randomly throughout the week, like Star Fox news popping up randomly on a Wednesday. Wii U Wednesdays happens. Unboxing videos do not always happen on Thursdays, so that's also a thing. Any of it. So if you set that bell notification button to everything, then you won't miss anything. And with that, I think that's everything I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.